everybody, my name is Sally-Ann Spence and welcome to the Hills Quarry Products dig site in Cerney Wick. Now we are moving material that is both Ice Age and Jurassic. It's an incredible dig. We've got students from over 20 universities. And we have a whole load of experts coming in as well. And one of those people is with me right now. This is Dr. Steve Etches. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Sally.
Now, Steve, what do you think of the dig, first of all?
Fantastic. I really love it. I love the way it's been organised. I like all the young people here working, getting experience and digging material out they probably wouldn't have another opportunity to do. So, no, it's really good.
It is.
Really impressed.
And they're not just doing the digging, they're bringing stuff up, they're doing the conservation work and everything as well.
Yeah, really, it's thoroughly professional.
Now, you've been fossil collecting for quite some time.
Yeah, quite a long time.
How long have you been fossil collecting?
I won't tell you, but it's over 40 years.
And in that time, you've amassed an amazing world-class collection. In fact, your collection was mentioned earlier in our video, so please do have a look at some of the videos. And you have a museum.
I do, yep.
Which is amazing.
Very lucky.
Yeah, so how have you gone about that? Because that's open to the public.
It's open to the public. It's a charitable trust. It's run by a few permanent staff and a lot of volunteers who some are here today. And so, yeah, on we go. It's literally, came into being, I think next year, 10-year anniversary of the opening of the museum.
And it's really is worth going. I've been down there. It's in Dorset.
Yep. Kimmeridge.
Near Kimmeridge.
It's in Kimmeridge.
It's in Kimmeridge. It's actually in Kimmeridge, and that's the sort of area where you've been looking for most of your fossils as well.
Exactly. It? Well, the reason I did it initially is because if you're a fossil collector in Dorset, you've got the whole suite of Jurassic rocks to collect from. And I started doing that and realised that, hang on, I'll end up with a massive collection of very common material. Kimmeridge clay, I started finding material from that, and it was not well described, and provenance was not that great. And looking through the British Mesozoic Fossils Handbook in their preface, it described all the suite of Jurassic rocks, came to the Kimmeridge clay and said it's the least interesting of the British fossil collector. And I thought, right. And I came down to Kimmeridge, realised the potential of it, and I thought, no, I'll do it. I'll start just collecting Kimmeridge clay material. So it's very basic the way I did it. I started with the code, so K for Kimmeridge. What do you start with? 1. So we're now up to 3,000. So that's how it's all.
3,000?
Yeah. We don't, like a lot of big museums, we don't count individual bones from the same specimen and give it a separate number. We just give one number for the whole skeleton. Yeah.
Well, what I loved about your museum was your specimens are stunning, but the way you've actually presented them, your exhibition of them is just incredible.
Well, again, we put it in a simplistic manner. It's for the public, and people don't want to see Latin names, classification names of fossils. That bores them. And the name museum is often put a lot of people off.
Yeah, dusty mould museums.
Yeah, exactly. So we've done it with a little bit of text in a nice style, nice, font, and also a few line drawings to describe what we got. And that's really gone down very, very well with the people that come in. In point of fact, we get people that have said, well, I've come with my husband, I'm not interested in fossils at all, but being through there, I'm really interested now. Thank you very much.
100%.
So it's great.
And you have a film
CGI.
playing.
CGI on the gable ends, they're both the ceiling voids,
And that's fantastic because you want to, not everybody can imagine from bones what they actually look like.
Yeah, exactly.
And moved.
It does bring it to life for people who don't know what it looks like. And we do it, we show predation, we show different predation amongst mollusks as well and all sorts of things. So,
and you've got ammonite eggs.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about those tonight.
Oh my goodness me, he's got ammonite eggs. Do we go back to our talk about ammonites, because we do mention the fact you've got those. Yes, you do.
Well, we're just in the thing now of CAT scanning some from the lias.
Right.
And when you look at them, because everyone said, oh, we don't think that, well, they definitely are. And if you look at the ammonite eggs, they're sort of elliptical. So some are worn on the top, which is narrow, some are worn across the middle. So you see that different size, and that's how it is. But when we get the scans back, it'll prove a few of the German paleontologists completely wrong, because we definitely know they're ammonite eggs.
So are we saying that we could potentially see embryonic ammonites in
Who
them?
knows? Because the lias yield some fantastic, really soft part preservation. And there are other structures inside the body chambers that we can't put a handle on as well. So who knows?
I'd love to know if they've got really do genuinely have tentacles. Do we actually know if they had tentacles?
Well, no, we don't. No, we don't.
Oh.
It's the same with Tracheoteuthis, a squid. you never see them preserved with their arms, but you see in the Sonoff and limestone where they hit the sediment seafloor, and there's the impressions of the arms in the sediment. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be quite impressive. That will be really amazing.
Yep.
So keep watching this space. Steve, you've also got a rather large head of getting quite famous.
Yeah. I'll be talking about that in a minute as well.
Are you going to come on? Tell us a little bit about that, because this is really special.
Well, it is. It was initially found, the tip of the snout dropped out of the cliff into the shingle, and a friend of mine, Philip Jacobs, actually walking along with his girlfriend, and thought, oh, it's a bit of wood, and then realised what it was. Dug this thing out, couldn't get it. He could get it in his rucksack. He wouldn't be able to carry it. So he thought actually, and he's really good because he donated some fantastic material to us, and realised this is bigger. It's no good me collecting it anyhow because I haven't got the rest of it for a start, and it's too good to be in a private collection. It should be in a museum. So we buried it and left a mark, buried it so no one could see it, and put a marker on there. Called in excitedly at my house at Cambridge anyhow, and said it's around there if you want to go and get it. Well, we went round with a ladder and some plywood and some ratchet straps. We carried it back.
So how big a piece are we talking then?
Well, it's about yay long.
But it's because it's
really
rock,
heavy,
isn't it?
yeah,
So
really heavy.
Yeah.
And to get it over the rocks, we went back Chapman's Pool way, which is a shorter way, so it's still a mile and a half, I guess, you know, so struggle with that. And then Ash, who works with us, we droned the whole cliff, because naturally rocks move about, and this is a rock really, and we droned the whole of the cliff, and then found what it looked to be like bone, but of course I couldn't really relate it to what we had in the snout. So what I had to do, this is a lovely thing, health and safety would go mad, but
Oh no.
got hold of a climbing
so
firm.
home.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Got hold of a climbing firm and said, look, I need to abseil down. Can you help us? No, we haven't got the certificate to do that. The second one said exactly the same. They said it sounds pretty dangerous. No, we're not going to do it. So third phone call, because I don't do emails, got hold of a firm in Ireland, and the guy said, and I told him what it's about. He said, that sounds exciting. I thought, oh, great. So he said, right, we're down in Bristol next week. We'll come round, walk along the shore and have a look at the site. And yep, he looked at it and said, yeah, okay, well, have you ever abseiled? And no.
Oh no.
Right, we'll have to train you, so that's fine.
And how long ago was this?
Oh, God, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
So relatively, okay.
Yeah, 4 years ago, something like that.
Right.
I think 4 years ago. And anyhow, he trained me on the things, so we got the film with me going over the cliff with him. Pretty hairy if you've not been used to ropes. But anyhow, we cleared the cliff off as it went. I loved it then when we got on the ropes. It was fantastic. Cleared the cliff off, got down to it, then realised that it's actually preserved upside down and slightly tilted.
Oh, right.
And that's why it threw me, so that I could see the mandible on the top
Oh,
and the
okay.
skull underneath, but slightly tilted round. So, Chris Moore, a friend of mine, great friend of David Attenborough, I told him about it. He said, do you know, Steve, he said, that skull's got to be complete. When you get two closed jaws like that, you know, together, it's got to be complete. I said, yeah, I agree. So he said, I'll get hold of David and see what he thinks. And of course, he thought it was great. And the BBC followed David Attenborough's whims.
There's a story
and
in
said,
that,
right.
yes.
So off we went. And the team together, Alex, who's Chris's son, was on the digging team. He's built 16 stone of muscle and, God, you know, job to keep up. So I worked out what we needed to do. I got a big compressor with two 60-metre airlines and these big CP9 guns, and off we went.
Wow.
Dug a big cave in above it. I didn't need to support it because I knew it was in a mudstone. It would be fine for the time we were doing it. We wouldn't need to support it. It wouldn't collapse on us. That was a quick health and safety thing. We had to do it for the BBC anyhow, but they accepted our health and safety risk assessment. And then we sort of dug it in, exposed it, put foil over it, like industrial sort of foil, and then plastered it with scrim and steel mesh through it, galvanized steel mesh, undercut it as much as we could. And then the problem arose then, how are we going to get this thing out? Now Chris wanted to cut the skull in half, and I said, so we argued over this. It's quite funny because he was sat there saying, no, I think we cut it in half. I said, no, we're not going to do that at all, Chris. And he got a bit uptight, and I said, you wouldn't talk to David Attenborough like that. He said, well, Steve, the difference is he's a friend of mine and you're not.
Oh, okay.
So that's great.
Right.
Anyhow, we didn't cut it.
How heavy would it be?
Well, with the case, it was 1.25 tons.
Ton and a quarter.
So,
that's actually
but then the
seriously
farmer
heavy.
friend of mine, who's an engineer as well, said, look, initially it was going to go down the cliff, how it was going to go down. But I said it's got to go up the cliff because you can't get any craft in there. You know, it's just too shallow water. So he said that's fine. So he worked out this thing, made this ski, which is about 6 meters long, with this case in it that's self-supported, not self-supported, self-leveled,
Okay.
and with a 5-ton winch on the back. And basically, we lowered this down with using excavators and tractors and everything else. It took a while to get it to the position we needed. And Alex and I went back up. We're the only two allowed up there, and we actually then stropped it and then jacked it up and skidded it into the box. And by 9:30 that night, it was on a tractor up the cliff. The sun was just going down, and that was on the last day we had to do this. With the climbing firm, I had to go do another job.
Wow.
So then it stayed for about 2 or 3 months in a shed, in a estate building. Then it had to come into the workshop, and of course it wouldn't go through the door the way it was because it was too wide. So again, our farmer friend designed a thing, turn it on its side and on a set of bogies on a track, got it over the threshold, and then, oh God, we had to lift it onto the table. And this was put the right way up, and it nearly collapsed the table. And anyhow, the BBC were there filming it. They lifted the top off, and out of that dropped a mouse's nest, all broken bone, polystyrene, rubble. And they go, "What do you think of that?" I said, "Oh my God." I thought, "Oh Christ." And it had dried, it had cracked, it looked, oh. I thought, "Oh no." And then Chris said, "Oh, you'll manage it. You'll do it." And so after that, the BBC came back at intervals. But they said, "Oh, by the way, you've got, I think, about 8 or 9 months to clean it before the film goes out."
Something that big, you had 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
That's quite a big ask, actually.
It was. Once you get into it, it was quite enjoyable. It's a little bit difficult because you're on the table. You can't stand. You're kneeling down, and then air braiding it was another thing. So when I finally finished it, air braid it, and I put a big tent round it, and then go in with a big dust mask, a proper one with visors, and then come out grey, all the dust in you. Oh, and that took me quite a time. But we were very lucky because, again, my air bracer would not do that sort of work to that level. But a guy in America who makes Swan Blast, air bracers, when I told him about it and said it's with David Attenborough, he said, "Well, that sounds cool. I'll make you one." £16,500.
Wow.
He just donated it.
And you've got that still?
He got that still, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was that. And then at the end of the day, when the film came out, that was really good. And that was when our problems started because over 1,000 people a day were coming into the museum. That just jammed the whole village up, caused a lot of consternation.
I was going to say, it wouldn't make you very popular then in
No,
that case.
I was on car park duty.
Oh,
so I was there outside.
Me. Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So
But the skull, you have the skull.
Yeah.
It is in the museum. You can go and see it. It's absolutely amazing. Well, it's nearly 2 meters long, isn't it?
Yeah, nearly, yeah.
It's huge. But you have the skull. What about the rest of the body?
Still there.
It's still there in the cliff?
Yeah, yeah. It's disarticulated. We know that, but it's still, think about it. You get a perfect skull like that, the rest of the body's got to be there, unless you go there and find half that's been predated. But I don't think so, to be honest. I think we should be lucky enough. It's a gamble, but I think the rest of it must be there.
And so, from the skull, and we haven't actually said what animal this is.
Pliosaur.
It's a pliosaur.
Okay.
From the skull, can you tell if it's male or female, or do you need more than that? So we could even potentially have one with a baby still inside it, or something like exciting like that, or a big bite mark out of it.
Well, we got another skull with a big bite mark out on the
Right.
back. A really huge pliosaur bite marks in the bone. But no, this one's not. It's got a crest which is different. It's a really high crest against a lot of other sort of pliosaur material. But that, I'm led to believe, is often where on the top of that you strip a cartilage, the muscles go over. That gives even better bite force.
Okay.
So that's something quite unique.
And is this a fully grown adult, mature animal?
Who knows?
We don't know.
No. We've evidence that there's one of the part of a jaw mandible of a pliosaur in the Natural History Museum with 2 sockets like that. And so you've got to presume that their skull's at least up to 3 meters long. But because they're at the top of the food chain, they're quite rare. They're like lions on the Serengeti. There's lots of prey animals, but not many lions, And this is the same with pliosaurs. So we've still got to learn a lot more about their lifestyle.
And if you could have your perfect scenario and you actually managed to excavate, I know you're planning, this is the next big thing, and you've been raising funds to do this. You know, you do look on the website for the Etches Collection Museum, because they are fundraising. This is an amazing skeleton and really, really important for science. But if you had, would you like an empty skeleton, a skeleton with a potential baby inside it, or with potentially stomach contents? What are you going to go for?
The baby. That would answer a few questions. God, yeah, no, that would. But it's in a mudstone, so soft part preservation is not that's good, because again, cleaning the skull, there's just evidence of little tiny encrusting oysters, a few. So that's been exposed for quite a time. So that would lend itself to any organic material like that, not possibly going to be there.
And in the period of time, these were a top predator, weren't they? Like you said, the lion of the Serengeti. So were they eating each other? What was their diets? Do we know
anything?
Much about
they
their
were
diet?
opportunist feeders, I think. You know, that thing where you see chasing an ichthyosaur, I think they're ambush predators, really, to be honest. But we've got evidence, bite marks in juvenile plesiosaur bones, plesiosaurs, ichthyosaurs, so they'd take anything. I mean, anything they can get.
Basically.
Yeah. And it's interesting because as we go through time into the upper Kimmage clade, we've got the other plesiosaur skull we've got the propodials of that, the same species, we think.
Propodials?
And
What's
the limbs,
the
the front and hind limbs. And the femur's large, and the humerus is quite a deal smaller. But when we look at stuff from the Cretaceous, you see that discrepancy there. But when back in time, the humerus and femur, there is a slight difference, but not as much as what we see on those. So there's some really interesting information that we're getting out of that other one as well, which we think is the same species. Got the same crest, everything. We're just CAT scanning the brain case of that one as we speak.
That's really exciting stuff, really exciting stuff. And you are on a race against time.
We are.
Because these cliffs are being eroded, aren't they?
Yeah.
And presumably, you know, you could be losing material
We
in
are.
the store.
No, we're not
You are
presumably,
actually
we are.
losing it.
Yeah, we're losing it now. We lost, we think, a coracoid already.
So whereabouts in the body would that be?
That's
in
the
the neck?
breastbone.
No? On the breastbones?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Okay.
And that was pretty big, that was about that long sort of thing. But we know that it was there, but it just drops off. And the other thing is with it, once the bones get exposed, because in a mudstone it cracks and shrinks and goodness knows what, the bone is not that well calcified. In other words, it's not solid like you get mineral, like this bone here. If you broke that open, it's solid all the way through. This is like cancellous. You see pores in the bone, like ours, you know. And so it's structurally not that strong. So it tends to, when you get water inside it, it tends to break it all up, and it's mushy, horrible stuff.
That must be heartbreaking.
It is, but
for
look,
you. Very frustrating and heartbreaking.
yeah, but look, we've been lucky. We got the main component. The rest of it is a bonus. We hope to get it, and we'll see. You know, we got a good fundraiser who's actually written about 120 or 30 letters to try and get this money to do it, and he's assured me he's going to get it, so I'm believing him.
Well, when we talk about needing money for this, this is the big problem Steve has got, and I presume I might be right in this, you do correct me, is that you've got a massive area of material above the skeleton that needs removing before you can even get to it.
Yeah, we won't cut a cave in, we've got to remove 20 metres of the cliff.
And that's a lot.
Oh, yeah, that is a lot.
And how far down the cliff? If that was a cliff?
It's 20 metres. 20 metres.
So about
the top of the hill is 20 metres down to where we want to get to the
which is a massive amount of material. So
it is, and it's changed the whole profile of the cliff. English nature are quite happy with that because they realise that the erosion there is very, very rapid, and we're going to lose this if we don't get it. And in the interest of science, they think it's justified.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
So it's
and the landowner's happy as well.
So it's just a small thing about the money to do it. It's the
very
only
small
problem.
thing. Yeah. Yes.
Right. Well, it's an amazing story. Please do go and visit the Etches collection. It's an amazing museum. As I said, it's beautifully laid out. Very, very engaging. Ideal for families. And you've got a cafe and everything there as well.
Not our cafe, but there is opposite. Yeah.
You know, so
if you can afford it.
Yeah. So,
sorry.
So basically, go and visit it. Anyway, we are filming live here, very raw. We want you to experience this dig. We want you to meet the people involved and the people that are coming in. And unfortunately you can't be here because it's a working quarry site as well. So we are doing these videos to enable you to have that opportunity. And as I said, they're being filmed live. We have lots of different students on site. They all have various jobs to do, not just the digging, which is also the fun bit, but they also have to take part in various other areas with the specimens we're digging up, and also things like in the kitchen chopping carrots and things like that. And today we've got Anne, who is very kindly working the camera for us. So Anne, we're going to ask you to come in here because Steve, I want you to talk about these things that you've found.
No, I've not found.
Well, you didn't find. You found in our collection of things that have come up from the quarry so far. So what would you like to start with?
I can identify with that because that's a plesiosaur, looks to be a caudal verp. Okay, uncrushed. So that's quite, well defined.
Right, so which bit are we, so we're looking at this bit here. Right, we'll show it to camera then. Okay. Here we are. So this bit here, and that's a vertebrate.
Yeah. Okay, it's in a rock, and you've got a gryphea, an oyster on the other side. Serpulid worm tubes on that. So this has been exposed for quite a time. Okay.
Okay, so there's
so that indicates, the seafloor has been static.
Well, we've got a whole ecosystem just in that tiny bit there.
Yeah, totally.
So, and whose vertebrae would that be?
That's a plesiosaur.
It's a plesiosaur.
Yeah, long neck. Yeah.
Okay.
But quite a small one. But then I'm not well up on the sort of paleontology of the Callaway's beds that these come from, so I don't know what size they grow to.
Right. Okay. And now you've chosen this, which
this
has an arrow on it.
Yeah. Can you see the arrow?
I can see the arrow, and it's pointing to this little thing.
Can you see? Right. You got your glasses?
I haven't actually. I'm going by you telling me.
Well, it's a little hook.
Right.
Okay. Now this is from a Belemnithutis. Okay. Now it's like a belemnite, but you get these perfectly preserved in Christian Malford, so in the Oxford clay there, and they are little squid. They're about yay long. And they got these tentacles. And on these tentacles, they got lines of hooks that reduce in size to the tip. And
okay, so that's one of the hooks.
And they catch sort of little fish. Yeah. They got a little beak, but they're beautiful little things. And that is definitely not from a belemnite. That's from Belemnithutis. And more often than not, the phragmocone, the belemnite point you see, this is always sort of crushed flat. You get them 3D occasionally, but they're not that big.
I'll tell you what, Casey, Casey's over on the tray. This is live, as I said, so bear with us. Casey, there is a belemnite there somewhere, I'm hoping. Could you possibly bring that over? Thank you very much. Right. Yeah. Right, here we go. So you can explain what a belemnite is to. Right, well,
belemnite is, this is the flotation device of the squid. So the rest of the body's here, so it goes like that. You've got all this, the fins run along the side, then the mantle, the head here with the arms coming out.
So pretty much like a squid we have today then?
Yeah.
And these?
And these are exactly the same, except that normally the phragmocone is a lot wide, it gets crushed, but they're never preserved like these 3D in calcite. Exactly the sort of same with these hooks. And tonight, when I'll demonstrate these things, so we find these hooks inside the guts of ichthyosaurs and stuff like that because they're indigestible. Okay.
Oh, how uncomfortable.
Yeah, how they pass them out, I don't know. They might cough them out, I don't know.
Yeah.
They pass through coprolites as well. You know what I mean? They don't get assimilated in the food. And so I've got some lovely ones from the Kimmeridge clay that show the arms with all the hooks on.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay. So they're well defined. Yeah.
Well,
so that's interesting. I don't think anyone's recorded that yet. I've not seen it in the recorded
We were waiting for somebody with the expertise to fully identify it. So this is why we're getting lots of different people in as well, because they all bring something to the mix, and that's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, that's a beautiful little thing.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, we haven't had anything like this so far on these videos, so you've got this as a first tonight.
Yeah. But all this little stuff they've been collecting is most important because they're probably finding new species of bivalves and invertebrates and goodness knows what, because the Callaway's bed again has not been studied to this level or collected to this level, and this is a perfect site to do it. It's fantastic.
It is. Yeah. And talking about it being collecting perfect site and everything else, this dig has been put together by Sally and Dr. Neville Hollingworth.
Yep.
Have they done a good job?
Fantastic. Fantastic. Their brochure they did is the most comprehensive brochure I've ever seen. We're going to use it as a benchmark for our future sort of things like this. Yeah. And getting all the youngsters and everyone involved, the number of people, I didn't realise there were so many people actually working on the dig at one time. And they're all keen as mustard.
Yes.
Everyone gets on, there's no sort of stigma, everyone's on a same level playing field. It's brilliant.
Good.
And yeah, I think
They've done a good job, haven't they?
brilliant job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.
The
And-
words we've been getting are life-changing,
Yep.
incredible experience, and what an opportunity.
Yeah. And also the quarry owners to actually let this
Yes,
happen.
we've got
you know, you got to.
Hills.
Yeah, they've really done a good job. I mean, it's costed them quite a bit of money,
It has.
but and what an opportunity that you know. I'd love to see this happen again and again and again, and long may it continue. And they've
Well,
done a bloody good job, to be honest.
They have,
Yeah.
they have. And every evening we are having lectures from either someone on the site, a student, or some visitors that are coming in, like Mr. Steve Etches right here. And you're giving your lecture this evening.
I am. Or talk.
I do believe that supper's just about been served, so we need to get you fed before your talk as
Oh,
well.
God, that's all right. Yeah.
So, you know, keep watching these videos. We are uploading them all the time, and join in with this dig with us. It is absolutely incredible. We have so many new finds. We're understanding so much more about these two periods in time and the area that we're actually excavating too. Lots going on here. So keep watching those videos, and the hashtag is TUSForce.